Crypto moves in cycles and Bitcoin has already risen to 100k. What seems to happen now is that a rotation into decentralized finance happens again. We had a DeFi summer in 2021. Now we seem to see a second DeFi summer. Now, the leading borrowing and lending protocol on various blockchains is Aave. And finally, after such a long time, Aave can outperform the rest of the market. How much longer can this outperformance last? Does it make sense to still buy the Aave token? Let's have a look at on-chain data most people are not considering. So have a look at this. This is the usage of the Aave protocol. This shows the user activity. And it's a chart that starts in December of 2023, so a one-year chart. And we can clearly see how it's not just the capital that's growing over time that's used for Aave, it's also the number of users that's growing. It pretty much 3x'd in the span of a single year. Where does all the growth come from? It mainly comes from the Base chain. So Aave had been launched on Base as well, and we can see how the number of new users is increasing for all chains, but especially for Base, right? This purple line over here, we see the strongest growth. Now this is what DeFi summer looks like. What we've got over here are the best performing assets in the last week. So that's among the top 100 tokens in terms of market cap. Aave is at number 1. Chainlink, which is an oracle or a data provider that's mainly used for decentralized finance, is at number 2. DYDX is a derivatives platform, also DeFi. Aerodrome Finance is the largest decentralized exchange on the Base chain. The 4 best performers are all DeFi. And so there's a very useful website, DeFi Llama. It measures the total value locked across various chains and across various protocols. So how much capital is actually flowing within DeFi? And over here we see DeFi summer in 2021. The total value locked peaked at 180 billion and then subsequently came the crash. Right over here we've got the Terra Luna collapse, subsequently also the FTX implosion. But then in October of last year things turned around and we get very close to those old all-time highs again. We aren't yet there across all chains, across all protocols, but we are approaching the all-time high. Now that's different for Aave. Aave outperformed the rest of the market. Aave has an all-time high in its total value locked. It's now at 22 billion and during DeFi summer it was only at 19.5 billion. So this is the TVL in US dollars. This is the TVL in Ethereum. Again, we see very nice constant growth, especially since October of last year. Now, why did it take 3 years for DeFi to recover? I think one of the main reasons is that a lot of people from the early DeFi summer in 2021 got burnt through bad tokenomics. So when you bought a token by a decentralized exchange, there was a lot of new tokens that hit the market due to incentive programs, due to unlocks from investors, etc. That expanded the supply, and when the supply expands faster than the demand, the price tends to go down. So what are now the tokenomics of Aave? How quickly does the supply expand? The answer is over here. It's not bad whatsoever. We've got a linear unlock, and 1 year from now we will have 3% more tokens floating. Yes, that's a quicker expansion than for Bitcoin. Yes, that's a quicker expansion than for Ethereum, but still for the leading DeFi protocol, that's really not bad. Now, how safe is Aave? Is it a platform where you can put a lot of capital in for the long term? Can we hold the Aave token without a potential hack? The truth is that hacks happen all the time and that there needs to be some kind of an insurance against this. Now, what I don't like about Aave is that the locked safety module didn't grow as quickly as the total value locked. So during DeFi summer, we had 2 billion in that module. Now we've only got 500 million in it. So the total value locked is at all-time highs. The value that's protecting the funds against hacks is not at all-time highs. Most of the funds that are in that module are various versions of Ethereum, by the way. Now, I believe as a fundamental thesis for any altcoin investment, we should expect higher returns than for the safest of the assets, right? When we buy Aave, we want to get more return compared to just holding Bitcoin or compared to just holding Ethereum. And so that's why I like to look at relative valuation charts more than at US dollar charts. What we've got over here is the Aave price relative to the Ethereum price. How much did Aave outperform Ethereum over the long term? And the answer is, since the end of 2017 to today, there was an outperformance of more than 2000%. Now that didn't come without drama. During DeFi winter, we saw an underperformance of 92%. But here's the thing. I believe that Aave relative to Ethereum and relative to Bitcoin is still cheap. Because here's another way to look at this, right? This was the peak in DeFi summer. And in terms of total value locked, Aave has already beaten that peak. So wouldn't it be reasonable to also see Aave at similar relative valuations to that peak? If the answer to that question is yes, we should be more than 200% higher compared to Ethereum at this moment in time. And we are not. Maybe Aave is undervalued, right? According to that relative valuation. The size of Aave is absolutely staggering. It's the deepest liquidity pool in all of Ethereum. So there's 365 million of total value locked in the Aave liquidity pool. That's more than there is for wrapped Bitcoin or wrapped Ethereum. On-chain on Ethereum, right, there's several versions of the token, but on Ethereum we've got 173,000 holders. Now let's look into those holders in a bit more detail. What we've got over here are charts that show the number of wallets based on different holding thresholds. So it's small retail on the left, it's large whales on the right. So to be counted for the chart on the left, a wallet has to hold at least 30 Aave tokens. At the current price, that's roughly $10,000 worth of the token. For the chart in the middle, we go at 10x in minimum holding. So that's now $100,000 worth of the token. For the chart on the right, another 10x. So that's now $1 million worth of the token. There are almost 300 wallets that have $1 million worth of Aave. We can also see how the attention shifts over time. So of course the token got bought massively during DeFi summer, and now we just start to see similar kinds of movements again. This is the number of buyers and sellers over time, by the way. On the right side, we've got this normalized to 100% per day. But yeah, this again shows us that we're just starting this DeFi summer. The token is still way below its height relative to Ethereum, while the platform has never been that important. And we see accumulation across the board, right? Retail, medium-sized retail, and the big whales, they all accumulate very long term. And they tend to be accumulating faster than the token issuance, right? That's always the question, right? Are we growing faster than 3% per annum? And 1 year from now, we were at 260 wallets. Now we are at 283. So that's roughly 10% growth. And that's already for the whales that tend to grow the slowest among all of those wallet cohorts. Now let's zoom in a little bit. Let's have a look at what happened in the last month where the price doubled. So an increase of 104%. Here is what happened to the number of holders. It did not necessarily grow. In other words, it seems like the current rally is still mainly driven by market makers. It's driven by the smart money. It's not necessarily driven by all of the small retail investors buying in. We do see though yesterday how there was an influx of new users. Why did we suddenly see 100 new wallets buying the token? The answer is this piece of news. Donald Trump's DeFi project World Liberty Financial bought 1 million worth of Aave tokens. They did not just buy Aave, they also bought other DeFi protocols, Chainlink for example as well. There's also another piece of news, but I don't think that it's the main price driver. There's a cooperation of Balancer and Aave to launch boosted pools. So simply just another technical development to increase efficiency. Now here's a very interesting recent development. You very likely do not have access to this kind of chart. This here shows how much advertisers on my YouTube channel pay for 1,000 views of their ads. And it suddenly, out of nothing, spiked to roughly double of what it used to be. In other words, crypto projects, centralized exchanges, etc., they are now competing for advertising space in the crypto scene. And it's not just money that's flowing into advertising for crypto. There's also simply fiat money that's flowing into the space as a whole. The stablecoin market cap tends to rise, and it's recently even accelerating. So since October of last year, we see money flowing into crypto again. That of course causes a lot of crypto asset prices to go up. And especially in the recent days, since beginning of the month, we also see the altcoins going up in aggregate. So what we have over here is the others dominance. This is how much of all of crypto is in the altcoins that's not in the top 10. That went up by roughly 20% in the last month. And so pretty much everything is now going up. The art in crypto trading though is to buy early, right? It's to buy when the prices are still low. So for example, over here, the Chill Guy token, it's now at 50 cents. But I made a video on Chill Guy when it was still at 20 cents. And I hope a lot of you made money with that video because it was a quite popular one. And so this is the real art, right? We have to get into tokens when momentum is bullish and when there's still enough upside potential. And so this is what this channel is all about, right? It's about discussing tokens that a lot of people don't yet have on their radar. So feel free to subscribe. Now, how can I find tokens like Chill Guy early? Or how can I find things like the Goat token or the ACT token early. Those are one of the largest pump.fun ecosystem tokens. This is a wallet tracking alert. How Kyle Chessy bought the GOAT token for 14 cents. That was over here. Since then, the price went up by more than 500%. Temporarily, it was up by more than 800%. Who's Kyle Chessy? It's this influencer over here. He's got 137,000 subscribers and he tends to be relatively early on trending tokens. And so here is how that works. We use on-chain analytics again to figure out who is owning what wallet. It's not a very easy task, but we've got an entire community that just focuses on that single task. Find wallets that are very useful, of insiders, of top traders, of influencers. Let's find those wallets and then track them. So over here, we've got the wallets that we track by Kyle Chessy. We've got 12 in total. Well, let's talk about the ACT token. Here's our signal for ACT. CryptoBanter bought the ACT token at 3.7 cents. Now it's at 58 cents. So an increase of 1,500% since that signal. And of course, temporarily, the gain was even higher, more than 2,000%. Now, where do crazy gains like this come from? They come from attention. They come from a lot of eyeballs getting into one single token. And so here are those eyeballs. This is the CryptoBanter channel. They've got 1.1 million subscribers. When they talk about the token, of course the token has to go up. And so we've got 33 of CryptoBanter's wallets. And so really, I think this is the better approach compared to just drawing random lines on price charts. I think it's better to follow the smart money. It's better to follow the insiders. It's better to simply copy trade the people that tend to make money in crypto. And I like this approach that much that I made a dedicated tutorial course just on this. How can we find various influencer wallets? How can we track those wallets? And how can we subsequently also interpret the signals that we get from the tracking? It's 8 videos in total. It's all part of Premium. So that's down below, thebitcoinstray.com. Premium is not just about wallet tracking. It's also about on-chain analytics, right? The charts that we looked at today in this video. It's also about portfolio diversification, risk management, indicator backtesting. There's more than 100 tutorial videos in total. Once we get our wallet signals, we of course also have to discuss when should we buy, when should we sell. We have to compare the on-chain analytics. That's why we've got dedicated chats on the individual altcoins as well. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $165 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like Premium, in case you don't learn anything, simply just message me within the first 7 days and I'll refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. Now, does it make sense to buy the Aave token right now? I do believe that it's undervalued, especially relative to the prior DeFi summers. We are just starting with our rally right now. We will probably not see a 10x from here because it's already one of the largest tokens anywhere. But as a potential addition to a crypto portfolio to potentially diversify away from Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think it's a pretty smart choice. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video or see you in Premium. Cheers.